Welcome back on the AM show. My name is Benjamin Akakpo, and these are my blunt thoughts for you. It's a Friday morning. I get very critical around this period on the show because there is too much going on in our country to be silent. You know what they say about those who know and say nothing? They are as culpable as those perpetrating any wrongs. But today, I've titled my blunt thoughts, Ghana, the lair of corruption and the citadel of hypocrisy. Ghana, the lair of corruption and the citadel of hypocrisy. Hypocrisy. You know what a lair is? Hiding place of an animal, usually dug in and all of that. A citadel, it's a strong fortress standing, sitting atop a high range or a mountain or something of the sort. It gives you a fair idea of what I'm talking about. And when it comes to corruption, I'll get to the slides shortly. Everything I'm going to be talking about today, from the latest corruption perception index to the GFA and how much we expend on our football, all the way down to some comments by Gabi or Tredako, and then looking at other metrics, you see that, you know what? We're wasting our time. The will to fight corruption is simply not there. It's non-existent. And until we get leaders with the will, we're merely joking in this enterprise. It appears to me it is different strokes for different folks. Look, for example, GRA boss, Reverend Dr. Amishadai, 62, right? You have Daniel Yao Domelevo, hounded out of office because he was surcharging left, right, center, and because he had touched, you would say, the lion's tail, a certain Osafo Mafo, senior minister, Kroll and Associates issue. He was hounded out of office, never before seen in this Fourth Republic. Never before seen. Shamelessly. And the court ruled on the matter, but by that time, he felt bygones had to be let go and be bygones. He let it go. Yet, we have someone who has been in office for 2 years without a contract, and the person stays on. Do I have anything personal, a personal grievance against Reverend Dr. Amishadai? No. I actually respect the man. But when you're in a position of authority, you must ensure that you are doing the right thing. Has he done the right thing in this instance? Has government knowingly done the right thing? No. So you pursue someone else, push the person out of office, unceremoniously, yet someone else stays. What is the metric? In recent times, I heard of David's answer, Poku, Impraiso MP, talking about the fact that, but why should they have brought up his age at the Public Accounts Committee? This member of parliament in the Eastern region forgets that a few years ago, just a few years ago, he was talking about Charlotte Osei, mentioning her age, 42, online, and lamenting the fact that she would be there till she was 70. You see the hypocrisy I speak about? And all these percolate when it comes to the corruption in Ghana. It stinks to the high heavens. I don't know whether the president has not smelt it yet. But let's get to the slides. I'll be very quick with this. Recently, we do know that in terms of the corruption perception index, we've shown you this before, but I just want to reiterate this morning. Look at our trajectory. 45, 46, 48, the highest we've had. 47, 43, 40. 41, 41, 43, 43, 43, 43. We stagnated, and not just even stagnated. Actually, if you look at it, we're retrogressing. Do you know why? Tell me. There are some firsts in this Fourth Republic. This is the first time we've had so many institutions at a go that in some shape or form tackle corruption. As for the AG, I'll leave him out. These politicians, I leave them out because there are cases that have gone. Of course, you know that once it's their administration, they will not do anything about it. I like the AG, but on that score, I don't like what he does. So let's leave him out. There's Shraj. There's Yoko. Mamitiwa Adodankwa was recently talking about adducing evidence and all that. There is now the OSP and all the other bodies in there. Never in the Fourth Republic have we had so many bodies charged with fighting corruption. Yet doesn't it sound very curious to you or appear curious to you that the more apparently we set up these bodies, the more corruption is like, yeah, Odeshi. It's growing stronger. Corruption has become a giant, and the fight against corruption, well, I don't want to use any words so that some people will say I am denigrating this or that group. But Obafomho. Yes. Why? Look at how much money we've spent as far as the OSP is concerned. The amount of money we spent on all of these institutions put together, that should tell you the political will to fight corruption is really not there. It be found full respect. Now lie. John Cena, you don't see me. You can't see me. That's what they are doing to us. They say one thing and mean something else. And it shows here. We're even lucky to have scored 43 again. I agree with the former Auditor General, Daniel Domelevo. I agree with some of the others I've spoken to, like Suleiman Abrahima. We don't even deserve to be there. On the back of some of what we've seen, instances, a plethora of instances. Name one instance where anybody on the charge of corruption, anything has happened. Name one. I dare you, name one. How many have come up? So we keep saying, oh, maybe there was not enough evidence and there was not this. How about those, for example, who were taking salaries that they did not merit at the finance ministry over a year ago? How did we handle that? Clap for yourselves, Ghana. What a fight against corruption. So there we have it. If we are posting these results with the lowest here, and I'm not necessarily saying that this administration did any better. We've not even scored past 50 before. So both of them are to blame. But if you see the trajectory, you know where it's going. Now, if you look at the next slide, yes, you add the scores and see that actually if you're looking at it in net value, if you add from 2013 to the next year, 2014, the figure we scored, 2015, 2016, and then you add the changes, the positives go out, and then you have a negative component of 2. The NDC doesn't like it when we talk about that, but it is also a reality. Though, technically, it doesn't mean they performed worse. If you go to the next slide, you would see Akufo-Addo from the initial 40, okay, which is the lowest we've ever had, to all of these others that we see here, okay? All right, so if you look at the component, let's go to the next slide. Then to the next one. If you look at the component, it literally means that in years, we've not made any progress, in spite of how much we've been expending on corruption. It's just, we shouldn't shut down these institutions, but let's stop with the hypocrisy and move on, yeah? Don't come speaking to us as though we know what is happening. It's so annoying. Next slide. Now, if you look at the key highlights of the latest CPI, it reveals deteriorating justice systems. I'll leave it there. If you know, you know. Reduction in the accountability of public officials. You can't even hold people accountable. Those declarations they make, assets declaration, you can't even get access to it. So someone can submit a blank sheet of paper for all you know. Honesty, yamutu in this country. Thriving corruption. I told you, corruption, right now you do anything in Ghana, it's like Udeshi. It will chest whatever you bring, because corruption is stronger than our leaders. I said it. Corruption is beating our leaders every day. And they know it because they themselves, a lot of them, not all, I know some who are honest, but most of them are corrupt. And they know it. They don't like it when I say it, but they know it. Next slide. Of course, this is the tale of the tape, how Ghana has fallen. We're rubbing shoulders with Burkina Faso. South Africa has taken quite a tumble, mind you. It has fallen into, but we all know about corruption in South Africa, so no surprises in there. Côte d'Ivoire, Tanzania, Lesotho. The countries we could emulate in Africa: Seychelles, Cabo Verde or Cape Verde, Botswana, Rwanda. Yeah, we like to talk about, oh, but Rwanda, they have this leader. At least show something, and be like them. That's a quack. Fool, you know, fool. Mauritius, Namibia, Sao Tome and Principe, Benin. At least score something above 50. That shows that you have, after all these resources we've pumped in, the least we could do is score above 50. But we'll keep money in our homes. And we'll do all the kinds of things we'll speak against in public. So yeah, we'll be here. Next slide. Now, I also said that I'll talk about Ghana's AFCON budget. 2012, if you look at the red bars represent the AFCON prize and Ghana's budget. Look over time, 2012, 1.5 million. We spent 5.5 million. That was the projection. About 4 million in addition for something that will give you a $1.5 million prize. 2013, 1.5 million. We went up to 5.8 million. 2015, 1.5 million. We allocated 4.7 million. And it goes on and on. Only in 2017 did this happen. 3.4 million allocation, our budget, 4 million prize money. Since then, I guess the MPP has also learned how to do it. They've learned how to do it well, even better. So now 6.3 million, 5 million. Obviously, we're in 5 million, 5 million. And now 8.5 million. What are we going to do? You know Frefre Kobo? That's what they do. Coaches, technical teams, everybody is in the mix. And if you are not, you'll be whipped into line. The corruption in the GFA must be addressed. Maybe I should say the corruption in our football should be addressed. I mean, I don't want to go back to Kwesi Nyantakyi. Those issues have been dealt with, established, about the things that go on, the ways and means. But till when? I mean, in a time when inflation is sky high, yes, it still is. Have you gone to buy anything? Don't come and tell me about year-on-year inflation is where. Have you checked out month-on-month inflation? And the Ghanaian is suffering the way he or she is. The least we can do is to at least be generous and ensure that our teams perform. But over the last how many years? No joy. Mr. President, you said some time back when the Stars did not fare well, bad economy, bad this, bad that, and no Black Stars victory. You see how history comes back to bite? Let's be careful. But moving away from the GFA, let's go to the next slide. I found this really curious. Like, do these people not realize? Anyway, Gabi Otredako, Executive Chairman, Africa Prosperity Network, and we know his relation to the president. He says maybe when he, that is Akufo-Addo, leaves and he's gone, then we will miss him. We will notice it, but not now. After he's long gone, they will say it. I think the word to underline here is maybe. And I could see say. Please, I don't know about missing, but maybe you will miss him. He's your relative. Maybe you will miss him. I don't know about me. I don't know about most Ghanaians. The same way we didn't miss John Mahama at a point when everything was going down south and doom. So I don't know whether he will have an opportunity to be missed. I don't know. But sometimes I feel people who walk the corridors of power, who are affiliated to the people in power, should mind how they speak. You can miss him. Feel free. Miss him in your bedroom. Miss him in your house. Miss him in your chambers. Don't come and throw it in the faces of Ghanaians when we're going through what we are going through. Next slide. As we get ready to wind down on it, Ghana's debt stock, and I say all of this in terms of the corruption and what is happening. You look at different presidents and what we've inherited. In fact, Kufuor, there was a point where our debt stock was around $780 million. After HIPIC, after all the grants and everything, around $780 million. Look at where we are now. Now, 5.4 billion inherited as debt, 4.82 billion added. Kufuor is one of the presidents I like in the Fourth Republic. J.A. Mills, 9.7 billion, shot up to 112.42 billion, together with Mahama. But Mahama has his own score. And of course, that is the entire period, so including Mahama. Nanado, 122 billion to 4. They added 445 billion. So now, as of September 2023, we stood at, and of course, the World Bank and all of that, they've even taken these figures off because of the debt restructuring and everything. But as of September last year, we stood at 567.3 billion, 445 billion. When you like to play the party card, NDC, hey, MPP, hey, look at that figure. Ask yourself, 445 billion, no? How has it impacted your life? You watching me, getting angry. How has it impacted your life? Tell me. Your roads, your hospitals, your whatever, everything in between, your health. How has it impacted you? So before you get angry, think about yourself. And tell me. Let's go. Next slide. And this is where we are going to wrap. You look at our highest average inflation in 2 decades, and you'd realize that we've really, really shot up. Now, I'm not talking of general inflation. I'm talking about average inflation, because you realize that general inflation hits over 54%. That we know. But if you look at the trajectory from 2000, around 25, 32.9, dipped to around 15, 26.6, and it goes on 16.5, 6.7. By the time we were hitting the 2010, 2011, look at how low inflation was, 6.7, average inflation. Then it started ticking up. By 2013, we were still averaging. 2014 went up a bit around the 14%, 13% figure. And look at since then. Then there was a drop to 7.1%, and now we are 40.27%. With all of this, our politicians will not focus on fighting corruption. If we focus on remittances alone, we could save a chunk of money. Per World Bank data, about 21 billion in remittances over about 4 or 5 years. Do you know how much we got? 9-point-something billion recorded by the Auditor General. That leaves a gap of around $11+ billion that we could have got taxes from to develop our country. Maybe we wouldn't be at the doorstep of the IMF. Every year, we lose close to $6 billion in corruption. When the president says, we'll develop if the West does this and that, like was in the papers today, I say, no, Mr. President. If we stop the tide of corruption and do the right things, we'll go far. My name is Benjamin Akakpo. I share these thoughts because I'm a passionate Ghanaian. You may not like what I say, but you know deep in your heart I'm speaking the truth. These are my blunt thoughts shared with you this morning, raw, hot, unedited, undiluted. God richly bless Ghana. Bless us with leaders after his own heart, like David in the Bible, and make our country truly great and strong.